Welcome back, y'all, to the AAPA Draft League Series. We are currently ranked number 1, undefeated, and we are attempting an undefeated season. That is my new goal. I didn't think it could happen, but now I have it in my head, and I'm manifesting it. You feel me? So today we have the Orlando Cinderace. His team his team was not drafted by him. He's actually a replacement coach. So a lot of these mons he's kind of like picking up and learning how to use. So I feel a little unfortunate for him because I'm going to take advantage of that. What I'm worried about is his Ndidi. His Ndidi mainly because it has Psychic Surge. Yes, we're recording out the whip. So don't mind the noise in the back. His Ndidi has Psychic Surge. The good thing about Ndidi and Psychic Surge is that he now has a whole priority blocker, which means what matters most is who's the fastest. And he has some of the faster Pokemon. He has Weavile, he has Salazzle. Both are great partners for Ndidi. Simply because Weavile has speed control with I think Ice Shard or Icy Wind or some shit like that. Salazzle hits hard as fuck. It's a fire type, poison type. Its ability Corrosion allows poison type moves to hit steel types, I believe, which is incredible. So Salazzle is pretty damn solid in this matchup, especially considering the fact that I have a lot of grass and steel types. And ice types. I can definitely see him bringing that Salazzle next to the Ndidi, even though he has never played a game with either of them. That's a real threatening combination for me. The Weavile also ice type, triple axle kick. It does damage. It's super fast. Just like my Sneasel is not very bulky. It doesn't really survive much. But like all he has to do is focus on sweeping, to be honest. Other than those, he has Roserade. I'm not a huge fan of Roserade. I also don't consider it a real threat, considering the fact that I outspeed it with my more threatening mons. Like Sneasel will destroy Roserade, so it wouldn't even make sense for him to bring that. But he might, and is most likely gonna die. The Golduck also, I have a grass heavy team. Kingdra, grass heavy team. But what could he do? Kingdra, usually it comes with Muddy Water. Take advantage of the fact that it's pretty fast, and then try and get accuracy drops. But that's better against passive teams. I haven't really been running a passive team lately. I've been doing more hyper aggressive. I think this game, I feel like I'm gonna do a mix of both. Looking at what else does he have? Mandibuzz. This is another Pokemon that's really good in singles. Not really aware of what damage you can do in doubles, because it's really good as like a wall and taking hits. But like if you ignore it, then it's not really doing much. It can reset stats like with defog, so that's also useful. It has foul play, so it does a really good job at walling physical attackers. So I'm probably not going to bring a physical attacker just in case. Diggersby has huge power. This is another very threatening Pokemon. Diggersby would be a great combination behind Ndidi and Weavile, or even next to Weavile. Diggersby is fire, simply because Weavile can get to speed drops, and Diggersby can then Dynamax, take advantage of the fact that it has huge power, which will double its physical attack stat, and then gets off some max strikes. The stab boost is going to make it hit even harder, and then max strike is going to drop my speed stat even further. So Diggersby is great for crippling other teams. Bisharp is a wonderful Pokemon on his team. That's one of the ones I wanted to draft. simply because it has Defiant and Sucker Punch. What that means is if someone tries to drop stats, especially in a Dynamax heavy format, where you see things like max strikes, max worm winds, all those things that drop your opponent's stats, Bisharp benefits from that, and it gets its attack stat doubled. So that happens every time its attack stat gets dropped. So Bisharp could easily get up to +6, and it has happened before. But he didn't have Sucker Punch on his Bisharp. I'm expecting he has learned from that mistake, so I'm expecting him to bring Sucker Punch. Clefable, I think Clefable is really good for Follow Me, and because of that, I think I might want to bring my Duraludon. I was actually thinking of bringing my Duraludon, but I might just bring it now. Or maybe I won't. I'll think about it. Azumarill also has huge power. It is a monster in the rain. Hits hard as hell with Liquidation. Fairy covers a lot of my dark threats. That means my Tyranitar, my Sneasel, my Grimmsnarl, as well as my dragons, my Noivern, and my Duraludon. So Azumarill is a great, huge power threat. Its speed leaves a lot to desire. So that is kind of one of its weakness. But another huge threat that he has is Mudsdale, in my opinion. Mudsdale has a stamina ability. It usually carries an Assault Vest on it. And what that combination does is Assault Vest doubles or gives it a boosted special defense stat, right? And Stamina boosts its defense stat every time it gets hit with a move. So one thing he can do is he can run Assault Vest on the Mudsdale, Dynamax this monster, and easily start getting boosts left and right. Drop some max Quakes, some max Knuckles, anything really. And Mudsdale can really become a terror to kill. I have a few counters to Mudsdale. I don't think the physical attackers are good counters, as well as Sneasel is not a good counter. Any triple axle kick is not a good counter, because that's going to activate his stamina like 3 times. Especially if his Dynamax is going to be very, very hard to kill. I'm thinking I'm really going to have to go with some heavy hitting strategies. Some real heavy hitting strategies. So this is what we're going to go with. We're running this team right here. Porygon Z and Grimmsnarl is going to be our start. Like I said, we're going with a mix of hyper offensive and stall type cripple strategies. So I'm expecting him to bring Bisharp. Bisharp is more dangerous to the Grimmsnarl than anything else. I'm tempted to have Hitmontop also lead, just for the fact that Bisharp usually doesn't Dynamax. And because it doesn't usually Dynamax, I can at least get the fake out and get a close combat into it. The real reason why I'm bringing Porygon Z though is because of Max Strike Adaptability. Adaptability makes Porygon Z's stab moves, which are normal type moves, hit for 2 times effective damage rather than the 1.5 times effective damage you get when you normally have stab. This means Porygon is going to hit very hard to anything that doesn't resist it. Bisharp is one of the few Pokemon that does resist it, so Bisharp is really a pain in the ass to consider, but most of his team doesn't really resist it. Other than that, the fact that I'm dropping his speed stat will allow me to enable some of my slower Pokemon. That means the Tyranitar and the Rotom don't really need the boost from Noivern. And I really don't feel comfortable bringing Noivern in this matchup, simply because he has so many threats for my Dragon Flying type. Like, it's just not a good matchup. I might replace the Hitmontop though. I feel like Tyranitar covers. I feel like Tyranitar covers it well. Let's see. We have a huge fighting weakness, but he doesn't really have fighting types like that. I feel like we're going to stick to our core. We're going to stick to our core of Porygon, Grimmsnarl, Rotom, Tyranitar. We can bring the Amogus, we can bring the Hitmontop, or we can bring the Duraludon. I feel like it'll be a game time decision. I think I want to bring the Duraludon though. The reason why is that Duraludon allows me to swap in case he does bring Clefairy. If he does bring Clefairy, I'm going to probably switch the Rotom with Duraludon and take that coverage. Otherwise, we're going to stick to our main core of Porygon Z, Grimmsnarl, get our screens up, start dropping his speed, cripple the fuck out of him, and then Tyranitar should be able to handle his Bisharp.
So we have Zeus, replacement coach. Let's see what he brings. I've been hoping he attempts some of the things that me and him have been talking about. He might not, but he just might. So we're about to find out. He has a very, very good team. I think he's low-key sleeping on his team. I'm expecting that Bisharp, maybe Mudsdale or Diggersby. Oh, he only brought 4. That's either a very confident move to make or a very bad move to make. Weavile, very smart. Claydol, not really sure what the Claydol is for. I'm definitely gonna bring Grimmsnarl, Porygon. Rotom will cover the Claydol and the Mudsdale. I think Tyranitar covers everything else. Tyranitar, pretty solid. Yeah. Honestly, he should have brought 6. I feel like if you bring 4, that's like a telltale sign that you're new to double battle. Or just like competitive battling. It's either like you're new or you're super confident. Maybe he's doing surgery. Regardless, we're gonna get rid of I think we're gonna get rid of the Claydol first. It's just whether I want to. Oh, I forgot to put the rest. Alright, it's a max strike game. Let's get rid of the Bisharp first. I've got to put the rest of the moves on my. Actually, that's just terrible. Porygon Z does not have the right move, so we're not even gonna put ourselves in that situation. I'm expecting. That was a misplay on my end. I definitely should have put my screen up. The question now is like, think we're gonna go with a nasty pump first. We should survive anything. We're gonna take out the play ball right now. That burn would have been really nice in the big ball. Maybe I could win the big ball. So let's see if we can save this. I'm expecting him to go into my Porygon Z rather than into my Rotom. But either way, Rotom will survive. And it will definitely hit harder once we get the nasty pot off. If we don't get the nasty pot off, then we're in a bad situation. But we are playing from behind here. Let's see who we attack. I think we should be able to survive with anything from any of them. That's fine. Cool. We survived that. And now we have a healthy +2 Rotom. We're finna eat. The Sandstorm does give him a special defense boost. That's kind of annoying. So I think I'm gonna give it one more turn. Let his Dynamax burn. Yeah, let's get rid of this one. That is super important. Max overgrowth and all that. And we're gonna hope we get a burn. Let's get a lucky burn. The good thing is that he is very mid-speed here. So we didn't have to do any type of speed control. So even though I brought a fucked up Porygon, we didn't even need Porygon to die. Now Rotom. Ooh. I didn't even understand that type of thing. What? That's with the special defense. Being compared to it. Ooh. So what type of discharge is this? That must be close to I didn't let his Defiant run off, so he didn't get any boost. From the terrain, so it doesn't even really matter. I kind of want to max Phantasm for the defense drop. I feel like that's fine over here. I'm gonna take the try attack. Cool. Porygon, you did some fucking work. Dynamax only had try attack. And did what it had to do. I wish he put triple axle kick on that. That would have hurt. Also, Sucker Punch would have been really good on Fish. So yeah, honestly, he could have beat me. He really should have beat me. If he had triple axle kick, as well as if he had Sucker Punch on the fish guard. but good game. And hopefully next time there'll be improvements on both ends.